is what you got for me.
Yo, shit just cut out. But we're here. What's good, people? Durag Diaries. It's your boy Jords back with another Tottenham transfer news show. As you guys know what it is, we're coming to you daily with all the possible updates, everything that's going on with Tottenham this transfer window. And today the news has been heating up. Even over the past couple of days, I'm not gonna lie, news has been heating up. Not saying that Spurs are making moves, in it, because I can see a lot of other rival teams making actual moves, you know, not just inquiring, investigating, checking, seeing the terms, you know, all those buzzwords for not doing anything. Because I don't know if people saw a tweet the other day. I saw, yeah, and I had to quote to it because I was like, what the heck is going on here? Paul O'Keefe goes out. One of the aggregators put it out. Tottenham will be active this summer. I said, what does that even mean? What does be active this summer even mean? I mean, I'm active in the gym, if that's what they mean. Daniel Levy's active in losing some weight. You know, he's active in not trying to get that hair to come back. Like, you could be active in many ways, Tottenham. The transfer window, I need to see bids being made. I need to see players coming in and people outside the doors of the Spurs lodge. Tottenham Hotspur away, whatever they call it nowadays. But big up. We're going to get into all of that. Today, we are focusing on the centre-backs because obviously we know, depending on some movement that could happen, we know Ange Postecoglou and Romero's future is supposedly tied together. So, we're going to be talking about the potential centre-back replacements that will be or could be coming into Tottenham to replace Romero in the short term. But before we get into any of that stuff, as you can see above my head, we did take some slow steps forward. We've now hit 2K, so it will be very much appreciated. Your support is very much helped. And, you know, you're humble. You're humble, a boy like me, you know, 2K followers. Shout out to the man, them. Shout out to the girl, you know, shout out to everyone who's been supporting. But the road doesn't stop there. We are on the road to 5K. Yeah, 5K. So we're on double, triple timing and we're going hard. Pause. But we're going hard. So make sure you tell a friend, tell his Marge, tell his cousin, tell her granddad or something. Subscribe to Durag Diaries and make sure you like on this video. Tap a like on the video as soon as you check in. Make sure you're liking on the thing, as you can see in the pinned comment. If you want to become a member of the channel, you want to show some extra support, you want to become a part of the family, become a descendant of Durag or a delinquent, whichever level you're ready to go to, or become a member of the channel, in the pinned comment, tap the link and you can go there. But big up to everyone in the chat. Big up to the members that are in the building already. Man like Gunner K, who says Durag Diaries. Come on. Big up to you, my boy Gunner K, every single time. Man like Adam Jackson comes in. Watch Levy signs Harry Maguire. Dark times. He's not one of the centre backs we are going to be discussing today, though. So I can save you some trouble. We're not talking about Harry Maguire at all today. So don't get angry yet. We're going to get into the centre-backs. We're going to get into it. Man like Ghosted, my brother, what are you saying? Big up Jords in the chat. As always, 5K incoming. You know what it is. Man like Jay Simpson. He says, hello, Jords. I hope you're well, Jay. I know you've been enjoying it up on the cruise. Let us know where you're at this fine morning. What beautiful beachside are you sailing next to right now? What women and sights is you seeing over in the Bahamas? I'm sure you're having a great time, Jay. Make sure you let the man them know. Man like Touchline coming into the building. Can't even lie. I'm not even reading your comment. Not even reading your comment. You still owe me a tenner for your loss, bro. So don't even come up in here acting like you can talk, acting like you're getting privileges that the other chat people them get. You don't get no privileges until you pay your way. Man, I ain't gonna be making bets with me talking about my team this, my team that. And then when they lose, man, them don't want to come here and actually honor themselves, honor them bets and say, oh yeah, I was gonna come in and give you a £10 super chat when we lost. Don't worry, Jords. I'm gonna come in straight after every preview he was there, you know. Every preview, brother was there talking ish in the chat. And now man doesn't even want to send it. Nah, I see what you're on touchline. You see how you don't want to respect the bet? I'm not even gonna respect the things you're saying in the chat. You're just gonna become another Ashley. We're going to ignore you, yeah? Ashley, Tony, whatever the name he's been coming up with today, you don't even know, but you're just a bot in the chat. So don't even try that touchline. We called you straight after the game. You know exactly what I was talking about. But good morning to the fellow Spurs Mo and member champion Drula. Morning, Jords and chat. Good morning, Drula. I hope you are well. I hope you're having a lovely day, even though it's very muggy outside. I'm not going to lie. Very muggy, but I was hoping this dark day was going to signify the end of Daniel Levy. I don't know if you have any news, Drula. You know, you could tell us if there's anything going on at the Spurs way right now. If there's any rumors that you've heard, because I've been hearing rumors and I don't know how true they are. They seem very fake. I'm not going to lie. They seem like they are just rumors because I'm seeing WhatsApp messages and all these other clippings. But Daniel Levy could be on his way out of Spurs. I'm hearing there's a huge shake-up right now in North London. And Daniel Levy could be one of the names to step down from his role and let, is it Peter Shepington? Or I actually don't know the guy's name. I'm not going to lie. Don't even know the guy's name. But it was some next guy that's going to come in and take over. Because obviously Vinay is doing commercial side of things. We've got Paratici coming to take over the football side of things. But that Shepington is just going to come in and be a CEO apparently. Now, I don't know whether any of this is true. Do not say you heard this from Jords. My source is just Twitter. And their source is, trust me, bro. Like, that's as far as it goes, for as far as I know. It's the guy's sources on Twitter is my cousin's auntie works for Daniel Levy. Some shit like that. So I don't know what to take from it, but take it with a pinch of salt, innit? That's what I think. Take it with a pinch of salt. Good morning to Karma. I hope you're well, Karma. I hope you're feeling a little bit better after the season's over. I hope you're on a hooks thing, you know. Last season's last season. It's in the past. Don't even think of it right now. On to new and next. Netflix FC. Next season will be better. Don't know if that's actually true, but you have to try and think that way. Positivity. They say manifestation, innit? Believe it, see it, achieve it. You know, one of them ones. That's what Arsenal fans got to do. You can only manifest right now because trophies they ain't coming. They're definitely not coming. If you want to come over this side, North London, the right side, then you already know trophies are dead there every time. But Mr. Udang, big up Jords there. Big up to Mr. Udang. I hope you're well. Sorry, I literally just had a notification. I was wanting to make sure that was no Tottenham news. It looks like it is Jadon Sancho is returning to Manchester United. See, there you go, touchline. Potentially some good news. You got Sancho returning, and that's a goal scorer in a final. Who knows? And Z as well. Spurs won Europa. By what expense? Still can't compete with United. Oh, I see where you're going with this. Talking about Mbeumo. That's fine by me. Do you know what? Yeah, I actually think they're two good signings, Mbeumo and Cunha. But somehow, some way, Man United are going to mess them up. So I'm fine. We know what happens at Man United. You ruin talent. You ruin players. I guarantee you're going to get Mbeumo back in. You're going to send him off to Turkey to tell him that he needs a hairline because for the photo shoot settings of Man United PRSC, he needs to look good in the pictures. Maybe give him the white hair thing like Garnacho. So that's what's probably going to happen. They're going to send him Turkey, get the hairline. And once the hairline's back in, you ain't got the Bold King no more, bro. You ain't got the BBL. Yeah. Bold Brothers Light. Yeah. You ain't got him and Wissa together. Yeah. You've just got a guy with a fucking toupee on his head. Yes, he's going to look like them guys that are wearing the wigs. So when you do Mbeumo and you send him to Turkey and he gets his hairline back, he's going to be dead anyway. So I ain't even worried. I really ain't worried. I don't see this deal working out for Man United with Cunha and Mbeumo. And I'm hating. I am hating. Facts. Most definitely hate him. Just a little. But when the deals are confirmed, maybe I'll give you guys a breakdown analysis. Maybe a Man United are serious video. I hope you guys have been watching the rival content because we've been keeping up with it. Before they told me, Jords, you're doing too much on Spurs. It's just Spurs. Give some other rival content. You're always on these other channels talking on panel shows. Why are you not doing it on your own? And now we got it. And before, do you know, I'm not even going to say too much, but I did release a video yesterday about a certain teams and a certain players that we're going to be talking about. And it's one team that we laugh. We're going to be laughing about. I'm telling you that now. But man, like Kizzy, big up Bandit, big up to Kizzy, back into the... He's now got the Arsenal pictures back. He's now repping his club for some reason. I don't know how. I don't know why. But I have some shame. You had Sir Alex the other day. Don't know why you don't have Sir Alex no more. So you're going to have to see. Calm as I'm going to thumb down the street. Calm down. Tranquilo, calma, man. It's a bit too early for the thumbs down thing. We're only spreading good positive energy. You got, because now if you start putting a negative energy in the world, it's going to come back to your club. And you don't want that to happen. Yeah, because we know you guys have been dying for years. You need all the good energy out there. So don't want to be throwing things out that way that's going to come back and affect your club. Yeah. So watch yourself now. Calm out. Watch yourself now. But Drula says it's raining here in North London. Yeah, the rain is slowly coming over these sides a bit more east. But we will see. And that is it. Charrington, not Harrington, Peter Charrington. Don't really know too much about him. I really don't know too much about him. But Jay Simpson letting us know that we are on our way to Palma de Mallorca, but don't get there till tomorrow. Get to see Spaspanito, ladies. Jay's just living life. I hope people know Jay is just living life outside on the cruise ship, going to all the hottest countries. I'm going to be stopping in Barcelona next month. So if you're in Barcelona, definitely let me know. You know them way there. But V9, the little snake, how's he ended up a spud? Do you know what it is, though? For commercial positions, it don't necessarily matter. If you're working in the head office, don't nobody care about if you've gone to the opposite team. You don't have you have no business playing into the tribalism or the rivalry side of football as a guy in a suit. Them man probably all sit around tables and bloody talk to each other about how to get things done. Why do you think all the London clubs do things very similarly? Like, let's be honest here, man. There's definitely he's not a snake for that. He's not a snake. But I didn't like the fact that he came from Arsenal. I don't know if he's doing inside job settings like Poch did for us against Chelsea. I don't know. Even asking the serious questions. How do you win the UEFA Europa League and don't start moving in the transfer window? Waste of a club. Your window going to be about and staying or going. Damn, man. What a sad team to support. Well, when you put it that way, it is very sad. It is very sad. But you just got to look on the bright side of life. Take a look on the bright side of life. You know, one of them ones. I got a smile on my face. I'm a champion, a European champion at that. So you can't put me down. You can't put me down. I'm still flying high. You're the bird. Ka-ka! Ka-ka! That's what I'm on. I'm still on the Euro the bird setting. So trust me, like, you can try bring me down, but we soaring outside. Wings are floating. You know, them way there. Like, man's gonna have to start doing this midstream just to let them know, like, the birds are floating. Yeah, not cockerel. We're soaring right now, Chaz. So whatever you say, Ivan, you can say. Keep that bad energy to yourself. But manage your dough. Jords, you're better than that still. What am I better than? Yeah, I was taking the piss out of the dirty Manx. Don't try to do that. Well, I don't know where that picture of so-called Starboy is. Guy that ain't won trophies in 5 years. Talk about certain Starboys. My Starboy's got trophies. Don't know about yours. Check. Maybe check that one. Check it out. Man like Henry Fong TV's in the building. Morning, Jords. Good morning to you, bro. I'm going to check him in the chat. We're going to get started. We're literally going to get started in a moment. I'm enjoying talking to the chat because it's been a while. I actually haven't done a proper stream talking to the chat. You know what? We're gonna do a 2K celebration stream sometime this week because I know we missed that, and we should just be celebrating 2K, having a chat in general. But there's been so much going on, so many videos, so many things going. But we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that so we can really just make sure we're checking into the chat, checking into the community, making sure everyone is good and we're on the right path to get to this to 5K. And also, I actually want feedback, guys. I want you guys to tell me what else you want to see on the channel. Just tell me what you want to see. We can make it happen. All about creativity and consistency. Keeping the videos coming. But Rudra Instruction says, I just want Ange to stay. I hear you. I hear you. I can't say I'm the same, but I hear you. And Drula has just dropped a bomb on us. Yeah, this is a... Which you guys getting the mouth sound effects. We ain't got the... I've been telling people, plug me in the soundboard, but you're just going to have to get the... I'm hearing we have 300 million pumped into the transfer budget. Bro. Man said we're shopping in Harrods this summer. Knightsbridge. Mayfair. Hey, we're outside 300 million, baby. Say less. If we got 300 million, and that could be a serious kitty to go out there and improve the team for Champions League. But this does depend on us spending it on the right players, because we know I could go through about 200 million pounds, 400 million pounds on money that's been spent badly on players that have not had the required impact. So let's just hope that is spent in the right way, and we're going to discuss some of the players that it will be spent on in a second. Big up to Jords, man, like PFC TV. I hope you're well, my bro. Jords, we need you and Jay more collabs. What Jay are you talking about? Are you talking about Jay rated R? Or are we talking about Hotspur Cave Jay? There's a few J's. Let me know. Let me know, because we can always make that happen. I'm always open to doing more content. One thing I will say is you're going to see more content on Durag Diaries over the next few months, because I know I neglect my channel sometimes. I do. I neglect my channel. I'm out here doing everyone's channels. But now it's time to give back to you guys for the support you've shown me and actually keep up the content consistently. But yes, I've got you, PFC TV. I've got you. We usually do have a Tuesday show that's just not happened because I suppose things been going on in both mine and Jay's life. Life is lifing. But we'll get a video in this week. Don't worry about that. I'll make sure to get it done, especially now that you mentioned it. And in or out, you reckon, Nikki? You know what? Go watch the upload on Ange New Deal. Potentially staying. Potentially going. Who knows? Or watch my last one, the boardroom breakout. That probably give you a good summary of that, because we're not really doing Ange in, Ange out. And to be fair, I've done Ange in, Ange out for the past 6 months. Since January, it's been Ange in, Ange out all the time on every stream. I'm not here to discuss Ange in, Ange out until I actually get full news. So we're just gonna focus on transfers right now. A man like JA lets me know, Durag Diaries, I'm still mad about the Europa League. Well, you should be. You should be mad that Tottenham have beat you not once, not twice, but 4 times this season. 4 times, you know. You man got your licks absolutely dealt with. You're just Manchester United, Old Trafford, the brothel. Everyone's gonna get some. So yeah, there's no doubt about that. You should still be mad. But let's get into the transfer gossip. What has been going on around Spurs? What players, what centre-backs have we been rumoured with? What centre-backs have been interested in making an intro to, or making their way over to the Spurs side of London? Let me just share my screen. That's what we do first of all, as we know. Let's just get that out of here. Let's go to this setup. There we go. There we go. Getting the setup pattern. And then let me get up the first story, the first of many. All right. So, the first story is regarding Mark Guehi. Mark Guehi is a player that Spurs have been interested in for quite some time. And when I mean some time, this doesn't just date back to when Spurs made a bid in January. This dates back to 2023, to the season when before Glasner came in, and Crystal Palace were in a, you suppose, an in-between space where they were looking like they could drop, but then Glasner obviously came in and pushed them on a bit further. But Guehi was captain at that time, appointed club captain, and it was looking like he would be on his way out. Now, obviously, we know since that time he's staying there. He's had some stellar seasons. Newcastle tried to prize him away last summer, couldn't make it happen. But Spurs have remained an interest in him throughout that time. Now, we know going back to the January transfer window, as you can see here in the report by Jacob Steinberg, in Ed Aarons, Crystal Palace have rejected a bid worth up to £17 million from Tottenham for Mark Guehi. Now, this was supposedly on transfer deadline day. Spurs had made a bid for Mark Guehi, a £70 million bid, which personally, I think was BS. I think it was BS. I think it was one of the, let's just throw some money at them, see what they're going to say, know that they're going to say no, and then just come back and say to the Spurs fans, look, we tried. We tried to get a centre-back because we know that we signed Danso, but it took us however long to sign Danso. But Guehi, that bid came in the day after we signed Danso. So it made absolutely no sense. So this was definitely, look, I tried, guys. I tried, but it didn't happen. So since then, apparently Spurs have gone back in for him in this window. Spurs have inquired to see whether he would be available and would like to come to Spurs. But Mark Guehi, as reported by Paul Joyce and Gary Jacob, doesn't want to join Tottenham. Now, some people may say this is understandable. This is understandable. Crystal Palace have won a trophy this year. He's captain of Crystal Palace. They got the FA Cup win, which has led them to European football. What is funny about this situation is today we are awaiting news that Crystal Palace may be kicked out of the Europa League due to their owner, John Textor, having a conflict of interest in also being the majority owner of Lyon. Now, this is what makes it funny because you're rejecting Champions League football when you may not be playing no European football. But my thoughts on Guehi in particular is for £70 million, he's not worth the money. He's definitely not worth the money. Let's be honest here, people. He's a good defender, a 7 out of 10 defender, you could say, across the season. He makes a lot of appearances, about 30 to 35 appearances each year, starts nearly every game. He's a right-footed left centre-back, and he's a 7 out of 10 performer. So if you need someone who's going to go into your defense next to a top defender, Guehi's probably perfect because he's going to give you a sustained level of performance, never really drop too far, make a few mistakes, but don't make that many mistakes across the season. He's not a player that gives the ball away a lot. He's very safe with his passes, but also good with playing the ball out from the back. He's a bit safe with his tackles, doesn't give away too many fouls, and hasn't been one of those players who get too many yellow/red cards in dangerous positions. And also, he doesn't give away a lot of mistakes. He doesn't have mistakes leading to goals like that. A few, but not too many. So if you're looking for someone to go next to a top centre-back, Mark Guehi probably is that guy. He probably is that guy. And you can understand why Spurs have looked at him for some of those reasons. We need someone who can be a backup to Van der Ven, but also play on that right-hand side in case Romero goes. If Romero does go, because the players we're looking at today will probably be the Romero replacement. So if Romero does go, you'd be looking at spending 65, £70 million. And let's have it right. Let's have it right. Most of that money that is being spent on him is based off of him being English. And that's the thing that I don't like about signing defenders like this, is you're getting an English tax for one. That's crazy. We already know what English tax does on certain players. Especially, like, you can see players go. Harry Maguire went for 80 odd million. 80 million pounds for that fridge at the back, who man are now calling Ronaldinho on the wing, yeah. Man, like Harry R9, Harry 9 or whatever it is, yeah. They were calling him because he had a few little stints on the wing against bloody Leon and them, man. And it's funny that, you know, Leon, John Textor, similar owners and all them things, got knocked out by Man United. But more than anything, you just see a continued pattern of these English players going for high money and then ultimately being flops. Calvin Phillips, 55 million pounds. He was a flop. He was absolutely trash. Never played up to the level. And you always see these players at mid-level never really take that jump. And it's funny that as soon as I mention Mark Guehi, man, like Caden jumps into the chat. Yo, Jords, been here, and Guehi only wants to go to Liverpool. Now, if Liverpool are interested in him, this makes sense. Now, I understand him rejecting Tottenham to go Liverpool, but if he's rejecting Tottenham to stay at Crystal Palace, he needs a hard look in the mirror to realize Tottenham are levels. 1 trophy in history, 25 trophies in history. Europa League champions, Europa League contenders. You're happy to just be a contender. We're happy to be 3-time champions. Ole, ole, ole. Champion. You know, one of them ones. You haven't sung those songs in your life. You might have done it for FA Cup and them things, but you ain't done it about Europe. Champions of Europe. You'll never sing that. You'll never sing that. You'll never sing that. Champions of Europe. You'll never sing that. Especially as a Crystal Palace fan. Definitely not. And if he wants to go to the other side of North London, please have a try. Because they ain't going to sing it too. Trust me. Trust me. But as you can also see in this report, you can see that it does also mention another defender. Moving on from Guehi, you know, because I don't like to talk about players. Don't even like to talk about players that I'm not a big fan of. I'm not a huge fan of Guehi. As you could tell by the way I spoke about him, I think he's a good player. I'm not going to take nothing away from him. But he's not my favored player out of the 3. Out of the 3 players, my favored one is Jarrod Branthwaite. And this is another defender that Spurs are considering heavily. And if you look at some of the reports, you'll also see there's been multiple reports surrounding this. Everton are telling suitors that Jarrod Branthwaite is not for sale this summer. However, Tottenham are expected to test the waters, but right now their priority is deciding on the future of Ange Postecoglou. So obviously we knew that Ange Postecoglou was going to have some impact on this transfer window, whether it be us delaying our transfers or us speeding them up. But we need to know what is going on with Ange Postecoglou. But as you can see here in the report, Tottenham are after Jarrod Branthwaite. He is one of the favorite players that Tottenham like. We really appreciate him. This has been a long-standing interest for, again, a couple seasons since he's been at Everton. He's a player who has a big stature, very similar to Van de Ven. He's very tall. He's strong. He's one of these players that I think one of the issues I pointed out for him, very similar to Van de Ven as well, they turn like a truck. So when you're playing on a high line, probably not the best player for the system on a high line. He does have a little bit of pace. He's not extremely slow, has a little bit of pace, but more than anything, he's good at reading the game. He's still young. I think he's still only, let's just confirm his age, 22 years of age. So he's the youngest of the 3 defenders that we are looking at. Probably going to cost in and around the same fee as Guehi, maybe slightly less because we have a good relationship with Everton, but also we are looking to potentially take advantage of this interest that Everton also have in players of Tottenham. Because if you will know, if you've been following transfer news, Everton are interested in signing Richarlison back. They want Richarlison back to be a part of their strike force. And with that, they also are interested in Basuma. They've got Decore leaving, and they've also got, let's have a look here. If you read this report, you can see that because Aurel Mangala and Abdoulaye Doucouré both leaving the club this summer, Everton will be in the market for him. Recently added Mohamed Diomande to his shortlist after his impressive breakout season at Rangers. But now, according to journalist Ben Jacobs, Tottenham Hotspurs, Yves Bissouma is emerging as a potential signing. So we may have to be a bit patient with the future of Bissouma because our Leeds are another one to watch. They are looking into another midfielder in Jarrad Branthwaite, but Everton are interested in Bissouma. So Spurs could look to do a cut price deal for Branthwaite if we include the likes of Bissouma or Richarlison into the deal, or maybe they're going to send us some money and we pay 60 mil. They give us 25 for Bissouma, give us 30, 45 for Richarlison, and we're all happy. Jobs are good. And you know, one of them ones, like, we're all happy with the deal and how it's played out. But with Jarrad Branthwaite in particular, one of the reasons I like him is his passing. Similar to Guehi, he's really good at progressing the play, moving the ball forward, playing it through the lines. I like Jarrad Branthwaite with his on-the-ball ability, but also one of the bits where Tottenham actually do really lack is air. In the air, we need a tall defender that can dominate aerially, where we can actually have a presence in the box on set pieces. Far too often, Tottenham have a minimal presence in the box on set pieces. Romero obviously has been a bit dangerous from them, but if we lose Romero, none of our other players have actually had that impact on set pieces, whether it's scoring headers, getting man in the box, winning, even defending set pieces. We've not had those players that are absolutely dominating. So I feel like Jarrad Branthwaite could be a player, could definitely be a player that I would look at. And for the right price, Spurs could get a really good deal here, especially if we start to include the likes of Bissouma and Richarlison into this deal. But let me just check in with some of the chat, see what you guys are saying. Drula agrees with me. Guehi, I'm not feeling him. I'm not feeling him too, man. I'm not feeling him. Dr. Durag, where is he, Jords? I don't even know, man. I don't know, doctor. I don't know where he is, man. He's hiding. He's definitely hiding. Now, like Joshua, big up to Jords. I hope you're well, Joshua. Hope you're doing good. I say we give Everton Solomon or Richie plus cash for Branthwaite. And even that, you saw Leeds are interested in Bissouma. Mate, send them Solomon and Bissouma. We got a few clubs and some money that we can actually make from these sales. We need to be really smart in getting these players sold quickly. Let's just get rid of the likes of Bissouma, Reggie. All these players, Reguilon's actually left on a free, just to confirm. But Mane, Solomon, and other these players that are never actually going to have an impact at our required level, not going to have an impact at Champions League, get rid of him. Get him gone early. Man like Hype is in the building. Big up to Durag Diaries. Hope you're well. Dial-up settings. What do you mean dial-up settings? What are we doing here? Did I lag? Oh, I was lagging. It's crazy. It's crazy. I don't even know how I was lagging. It's mad. Madness. Can't believe that man was lagging and no one told me. Can't believe I was lagging and no one told me. Can't believe it. But let's make sure you're smashing the like button on this video, people. Make sure you're smashing the likes. It should be a standard, as we know, for each of these videos. The aim is 50. If we don't get to 50, it's no harms. But make sure if you are in here, you have smashed the like button on this video. We're doing a transfer breakdown, and right now we've been discussing man like Jarrad Branthwaite and how much I think he's a very, very good defender Spurs should be looking at. But as we can see here, Tottenham are in intense negotiations to sign Matisse Tell permanently. I have seen that, Mr. Udang. We're gonna get on some stuff regarding Matisse Tell. Did speak about it yesterday. We're going to have some more videos and content coming out regarding that, but we're sticking on to the centre-back side of things today. But Leeds desperate for Solomon. Gooners get 20 mil for him. Tell definitely joining for 30 mil. Top Gooners trying to shut you down, Jords. They're trying to shut me down, man. The Top Gooners are trying to shut me down. They're trying to bring me down, but they can't because I'm a European champion. Yeah, I'm a European champ. Talk to me nice and definitely don't talk to me twice. You know them way there. But we got to move on we're gonna move on. Well, go on to my guy KK. I hope you're well. Hope you're doing good, my bro. And Gunnar K says, "Who you keeping? Most should leave." I think now this is obviously you with your Arsenal bias, and you need to get rid of all the players. We got a lot of good players in this team. I think there's only a few players that need to be sold. A lot of the fringe type of players, and some of the first teamers just need to drop down a level. So for me, I don't think we should sign Tell. I don't think we should sign Tell. He should be one that should be gone from this squad this season. Just let him go. Keep it gone. Just be like, all right, is what it is. Onwards from him. Regulon's left. Fraser Forster's left. I think we've had a few other players leave on a free. I think with regards to the back line, we need to sell. Maybe an Ashley Phillips needs to be sold. And then going forward in the midfield, Basuma needs to be sold. I would be open, and I'd be very open to bids for Sarr if we could bring in another player. But I'd be open to bids for Sarr at around 35, 40 million. Yeah, and I'm talking money. Big money for Sarr because he's a very good player, still very young and has a big, high ceiling. And then going forward into that front line, I don't think there's necessarily anyone we need to sell. Sonny could be sold for a good fee if that does come in. I think Richarlison needs to be sold. But away from that, I feel like our squad's really small. We've got a small squad full of a lot of young players, so we need to bring players in more than anything. But that's what we need to do, is bring players in, not start pushing them all out. But man said, I see why Spurs won't win anything. The way you are shaking your bum for this BTEC Europa League. I can see why you're a loser, because you don't know what it's like to be a winner. Beats me. But anyways, moving on to the last player of this show that we will be discussing. We are going to be talking about man like Fiako Tomori and his potential move and the interest Spurs having him coming over to the lane. Now, as you can see, it has been reported by Graham Bailey that TBR Football understands that several Premier League clubs are showing an interest in Fiako Tomori, including Tottenham Hotspur and Newcastle United. Now, we know that Tottenham and Newcastle are two teams that are in for a few centre-backs. Us two are looking to improve our backline. We both have a star centre-back in Van der Ven, and they have Sven Botman. But they're both injury-prone. They're both injury-prone, and it's funny that they're both Dutch. They are both. Botman's Dutch, right? Sven Botman's definitely Dutch. Yeah. So it's funny that they're both Dutch players, but they are both injury-prone. They're both top centre-backs. But we both need someone who can replace them at a good level and still not cost too much money. So I think you can see why Tottenham are interested in making this Tomori deal happen. Now, with that, as you can see further on when we click into this report, TBR Football understands several Premier League clubs are showing an interest in Fiako Tomori, including Tottenham Hotspur and Newcastle United. Tottenham were keen on Tomori back in January. However, the defender opted to reject a move to remain at AC Milan. Now, let's just start there. From a player rejects Tottenham, I don't want him to be anywhere near us. But I don't talk for him. If you think you can reject my club, and then you think that we're going to come back in for you, sorry, I don't go that way. I do not do that business. If he rejects us, we should just let him go. Cut ties. Shouldn't be interested in him anymore. Whether he's a good player or not, whether he's going to be available for 15 million, he rejected us for a reason, because he's a Chelsea, he's a Chelsea Cobham boy. I don't think that he wants to win things, because if he wanted to win things, he would have accepted a move to Tottenham. He would have accepted a move to Tottenham in January. He came here and won stuff, not celebrating a glorified charity shield that their man won and then sacked their manager for. But moving on in the report, the North London club are now back on his trail, having just secured Champions League football, but they've now been joined by several other clubs. The Magpies are among the list of Premier League clubs who have joined the queue to bring him back to England following his 6-year stint at AC Milan. Fiako Tomori has been told by AC Milan that he is unlikely starter under their new manager, Massimiliano Allegri, and sources have told TBR Football's chief Graham Bailey. The defender now could look to leave Milan in search of regular football elsewhere, especially with the World Cup playing this summer. as you can see here, last season, he played at centre-back and right-back, majority of his appearances at centre-back, but he made a few appearances at right-back in that time. Now, Tomori is a good defender. There's no doubt about that. I'm not going to sit here and just start dissing him and acting like he's not good. He's a good defender. He's the older of the three defenders. I think he's around 27, 28 years of age. He's experienced. As we read, he's been at San Siro, been at AC Milan for 6 years. So he's had many years there and sort of started off a young star, worked his way into the first team, but over the years he's sort of faded out. I'm not going to lie. He's faded out. As they've had a few managers, they've had a few changes. When they won the Scudetto a few years ago, he was a key player in the team. So there's no doubt about that. He's won things. He's played at the top level. He's played Champions League football. But at the same time, he's not been their favoured centre-back for this season or last season, as to why Tottenham were looking at him in January and he was looking at a potential move away. Now, if you look into the numbers a bit more, he has still been playing good football. One of the best things about Tomori is his on-the-ball ability. He can play both on the right side, but also can play on the left side. But he's more favoured on the right side centre-back. And we know the replacement that we will need for ROMERO does need to specialise on that right side. There's no doubt about that. But his progressive passing is really good. He can play through the lines. Similar to what I said about all three players. I think one of the things that you can see is key, and you can tell that Tottenham have been using the data to look at the players in this sense. Tomori, he can move the ball forward. He's actually good at play. A lot of his passes are forward. He does play the ball through the lines. Now, he does have a mistake in him. And he's definitely not one of the three that is strong aerially. He gets bullied in the air. And you know what? Let me get the numbers up because I've got them on the screen. If you look at here, so we've got the data MB and we've got a stat comparison between the three players. If you look into it a bit closer here, you can see for Tomori, his aerial ability is terrible. It's terrible. 10.4 percentile. You can see they're all very different defenders when you look at this graph, by the way. All very different defenders. Tomori's the blue, Guehi's the pink, Jared Branthwaite's the green. So you can see Guehi's the more well-rounded player where he has decent stats in all of them. Doesn't excel in any, but has some decent stats across the two. Tomori is really poor aerially, really poor. Well, I'd say just really poor aerially, but apart from that, is fairly good all round. But Jared Branthwaite, his passes actually isn't that high, but his progressive passes and forward numbers is high, but his aerial carrying and duel percentages is very high. So when you actually look at the numbers here, you can see here Tomori defensive duel percentage 92.3. But his numbers are significantly shorter than that of Guehi and Branthwaite. So we need to take that into consideration when looking at these. You do need to take that into consideration. So he's got a 92.3 defensive duel percentage, as opposed to Guehi's numbers are really low here. And this is why you can see I'm not a big fan of Guehi. 34.1 in defensive duel percentage. In the defensive actions, he leads of the three again. 77.9 as opposed to 63.9 and 44.2. Now, this is the one thing where Guehi actually excels and is better. The only thing that he is better than the three defenders with is progressive passes. His progressive passes percentile is 72.9, which is a fairly good number. His progressive passive is high, but the actual forward pass percentage and the passes is lower than that of Tomori's, who's 96.8 forward pass percentage and passes. So the percentage of passes that actually are successful is a lot higher than that of Mark Guehi's at 44.5 and Jared Branthwaite, who averages at around 41.5. Now, you guys know I did say Jared Branthwaite was my favored of the three. And some of the reasons why is, as you can see here, again, the aerial ability. He excels in the aerial ability. His defensive duel percentage, still very high. A lot better numbers than Guehi here. Progressive carries, he's a bit higher than Guehi in that sense. I think on the passing side of things, you can see here, Guehi is just slightly better than him. He's not much better, but slightly better than Guehi in that sense. Because Branthwaite's passing is a lot lower in the percentile. It doesn't, I mean, with Everton, a lot of their play is long ball. So you have to take into consideration the way that these three teams play football. AC Milan build out from the back a lot more. Branthwaite at Everton is doing a lot more long passes, over the top stuff, direct route one football. So you can't necessarily blame his numbers for being so low on the percentage side of things. But that isn't the only comparison we have. That's not the only comparison we have. We also have the comparison on Squawker, where we went through and actually broke down the actual numbers of all their league games. So give me a second. Let me get that up. And we're going to do a full breakdown of who the better of the three defenders is. So let me get around to that. As we can see here. So we got Jared Branthwaite, Fiacco Tomori, and Mark Guehi, all in their seasons for this year, 24-25 in the Premier League for these two, and the Serie A for Tomori. Now, let me just check. The chat, because I'm seeing the chat go off a little right now. Karma telling us we got rejected. Yeah. It's karma. It happens sometimes, innit? You get rejected and onto bigger and better things. It happens, man. Rejection builds up some callous in the mind. So sometimes you gotta go and think that you can do better than you can, even though Guehi's not better than Spurs. So to get rejected by Guehi is crazy. It's like moving to a 4 out of 10 and she's just saying no, and you're like, bro, what? You're dead anyway. Doing one of them ones. I'm moving like Arsenal, you know them salty settings, but it is what it is. We did get rejected. There's no doubt about that. Guehi did reject us, apparently so. But yeah, look, I'm seeing people beef in the chat. Gunnar K is cool. Tottenham Ranger, cool. Udang, cool. Josh, cool. All the man are cool, man. Don't beef. We got trolls. You have to remember, a certain amount of Arsenal fans in here. So they're going to be trolling more than anything. Just like if I go on an Arsenal chat, I'm a troll too. So I get where Gunnar K is coming from with the trolling, innit? Do your thing. But man, like Fams on TV, D's in the building, work rate on 1 million. Man, like Bandit, yeah, the work rate is up. There's no doubt about that. We're working hard. We're not going a day without releasing a video or something. We need every day there needs to be some content. And if there isn't, hey, get in my DMs, people. Let me know. You ain't posted something today. I'll get down and record something. Trust me. But smash the likes, as he says. Let me check the likes. What are we on likewise? We're on 38 likes. 12 away from the target. Not too bad. We've got about 15 minutes. So we got time. So you can send this to one of your friends. He's going to send it to his mom. His mom's going to send it to his granddad. And he's going to send it to his grandson. And you're going to all say, smash the bloody likes on Durag Diaries. Show some love. Stop delaying. And Mr. Udang, we will check him before we head out on the show. I'm going to star your message. We're going to look at Shotterback as opposed to these players. We'll add him into this comparison matrix at the end. How about that? Makes sense. We'll definitely do that. But obviously rejects Tottenham. You finished 17th. Low, racked up 22 league losses. Well, Mr. Whopper, that might be true, but we won a European trophy. We're playing Champions League football. So to think that you could reject me when I'm in a better place than you, know yourself, check yourself, get real with yourself. Because Tottenham are far better than Crystal Palace. So if he thinks rejecting Tottenham to stay at Crystal Palace is a good move, hey, that's all. I ain't gonna say no. you know better, bro. Know better. But it builds character development, Joshua, bro. 22 losses. It built some character in these players. It let them know, look, this is what I like to be down and out. Next season, you go and do better. But well done, fair play on that. But you got to get going. Just ignore the rest of your season, then yeah, bro. We do ignore the rest of the season. Not regards to the manager, not regards to some of the players, but regards to who's successful or not, then yeah, we've had a more successful season than you. So don't worry about that, Gunnar. But man, like Elias, the member in the building, big up Durag Diaries, road to 5K. You know where it is. Big up to the bros. Them. Guehi could move to Newcastle, Spurs, Chelsea this summer, or Madrid and Barca or Liverpool next season on a free. He's definitely not going Madrid or Barca. Or Liverpool may be in it because they're an English club. But Caden, as much as you may think he's good, please remember Guehi is not at the level of Barcelona or Real Madrid. Let's please remember that. And you know what? Just to go through that, we're going to go through this comparison matrix to actually give you an idea of what level Mark Guehi is really at. Yeah. So as you can see here, I've got quite a lot of stats to go through. We got a lot of stats because it's a defense centre backs. I thought there's quite a few things that we need to measure them by. I don't know about you guys, but I like to look at a lot of different things to measure my centre backs. And in that sense, what we will need to look at is everything. First of all, games and starts. As you can see here, Guehi was the most reliable player. I did say that beforehand, and I expected this to be the case. 34 games, 34 starts, as opposed to 22 games for Tomori at 19 starts and 30 games for Branthwaite at 28 starts. Well, I did say Tomori's numbers are definitely going to be better on the per 90. I'm going to just put that out there now. His numbers are going to be a little bit inflated because he's played almost half of the games that Guehi's played and about 12 games less than what Branthwaite's played. And that's simply due to him not being first choice. Simply due to him not being first choice. Nothing else but that. But let's just scroll through and have a look at some of the stats here. So these are all per 90, just to confirm. As you can see here, these are all per 90 stats. But to start off with passing side of things. On the passes attempted, passing accuracy, and forward passes, you can see here that Fiyako Tomori is the better of the three players. Now, I did highlight this in the Data MB stats. As you can see here, he excels in the passes attempted because AC Milan moved the ball around a bit more than the other two teams. So he's a lot more involved in the play. Jared Branthwaite's numbers are a lot lower because, as you can see, 42.5 passes attempted. He's doing a lot more long, direct passes. His passing accuracy is the lowest of the three, also at 82.85, which isn't a terrible number, but it's also not great numbers for a centre-back. Mark Guehi's numbers at 84.1, which is, again, not terrible, but not great. But Fiyako Tomori is excelling high on this side of things at 92.8, which is a very high number on the passing accuracy side of things. But also, not just that, he makes the most forward passes of the three. So not only he has the highest passings, he makes the most passes, he attempts the most passes, he's got the highest accuracy of passes, and he also plays the higher passes and the more riskier passes by playing more forward passes at 21.1, which is only slightly higher than Guehi, but quite significantly higher than Branthwaite. Now, this is where Branthwaite starts to excel and starts to come in his own compared to three. So fouls from tackle attempts. These two have the lower numbers between the three at 0.3. Now, what this means is the amount of fouls that they give away per the amount of tackles that they make. Mark Guehi's at a 0.5, so pretty much every 2 tackles, he gives away a foul. Now, that's not a bad rate, depending on the amount of tackles that he actually makes in total. But as you can see here, he does concede the most fouls of the three at 0.8. So with that in mind, he's a lot higher than that of Branthwaite, who's at 0.5. So pretty much gives away 0.5 fouls per game. So 1 foul every 2 games. It's good numbers. It's good numbers if you ask me. So you want a defender that doesn't give away too many fouls. That is Jared Branthwaite. Aerial duel success percentage, again, significantly higher than the two. We highlighted before that Fiyako Tomori's numbers were a lot lower than those other players. But if you do look here, Mark Guehi, 53.9. It's okay. I'm seeing Jay Spurs come in and say, no way, Jords is a stat merchant. Jay, you've joined into the chat late. We've gone through the eye test and what I think of these players per the eye test. But at the end of every transfer show, we do a stat test. Because my eyes, some people don't think are the best eyes. Not everyone's eye test is the same. So the way that we run these shows is at the end of every show, we'll do a comparison matrix to see what the stats say who is better. I've told you guys who my favorite player is. On the eye test, Jared Branthwaite is my favorite player. But on the stat test, we're going to see who comes out on top. So, yes, we are going to be doing stat merchant because I am a transfer merchant. And with transfers, you need to use stats. And Spurs are data-led, data-driven transfer team at the moment, data-driven scouting department. So we need to look at the data that the Spurs team are going to be looking at. And for this sense, as you can see here, moving on from the aerial dual success percentage where Jared Branthwaite was excelling. This is where Guehi finally has a green. Irish green. Guehi finally beats the other two defenders for something. Jules won. He wins 5 out of his duels per game, as opposed to Tomori's 4.5 or Jared Branthwaite's 4.3, which is fairly good. It's a good number. We're not going to take nothing away from him. But when you move on to the ground duel success percentage, his is lower than Branthwaite's, and it's lower than Tomori's here. Tomori's at 72.4, but again, it's going to be a bit inflated. And then Branthwaite at 69.1, which is decent numbers. We also have to remember Jared Branthwaite is the youngest of the three. You got a 22-year-old, just to confirm it, 22. Oh shit, what's it doing up here? What happens if you type that? Oh, okay, it doesn't even have his age there. Well, Branthwaite's 22, Guehi's 24, Tomori's 27. So when you're looking at this goes from younger to oldest. You can slightly see the young G is doing his thing. He's out here putting up some really solid numbers against the other two defenders. Clearances, this is why I expected him to have some of the higher numbers. The clearances, interceptions, blocked shots. Because at Everton, they're a low block team. So a lot of the stuff they're going to be doing is batting away from their box. As you can see here, 6.8 clearances as opposed to 3.2 and 4.6. This number was always going to be much higher than the other teams with that low block. And interceptions, he averages 1 per game. Fiyaka Tomori is at 1.2 and Guehi's at 0.9. So again, you can see Guehi is not having better numbers than just Branthwaite, who plays in the same league as him, by the way. Block shots, 0.9 as opposed to 0.7 for the other two. And then total cards, again, Branthwaite is better than Guehi in that sense. So if you're looking at which player you should sign from the Premier League, there's no doubt Branthwaite is the better of the two defenders between him and Mark Guehi. The stats show it. My eye test proves it. I would prefer Branthwaite over Guehi in a heartbeat. Now, if we are going to venture out of the Premier League and bring in another defender, try to go for a cheaper option, someone who may, I don't know. This is the thing with Tomori. I don't know where his interest lies, whether he's looking for somewhere to get significant game time or he's just looking to move to another top club and have a good, important role in the team. If he's looking to have an important role in the team but not be guaranteed starter, then this could be a good move for Tottenham. The numbers show it. The numbers show and the eye test shows that he's a very good player. He can come into the Premier League and have a significant impact. He can start for Tottenham but also come off the bench. He'd be a good competition for the likes of Danso. But if we're getting Branthwaite, this player comes in and starts for us. There's no doubt about that. He could be one for the future. Him and Van der Ven could be a good pairing, but also there is some frailties in that defense. So we'd have to see how it actually plays out. Having two long-limbed defenders like that, it might not be good when we are playing that high line and teams are catching us on the counter and we're having to transition, turn around, and you got two trucks that are trying to turn around, doing up 360. They're doing 3-point turns to get around, you know. To turn around, to spin, do a 180 spin, they got to do a 3-point turn. So that might not be a good combination at the back. We do have to just accept that. That might not be the best combination at the back, but we're going to have to wait and see. We're going to have to wait and see how it does play out, which of the three defenders are better and which of the three defenders Spurs are more interested in. But more than anything, people, make sure you're smashing a like. Let's see what the like target is. Let's see if we're on 42 likes. We're 8 away from our target, which isn't necessarily bad. It's not bad at all. But I'd appreciate if we can get to 50 likes. So make sure, if you haven't already, smash the like button on this video. Let me just quickly check in with the chat then, see what the people are saying before we do head out. I'm seeing Caden doing up beef in the chat with some of the Tottenham fans. I'm seeing Joshua, Mr. Udang. Caden says, what's this website called? This is Squawker. Squawker Comparison Matrix. Let me see if I could, I'll send a link in the chat. I'll send a link in the chat to make this a little bit easier. You can go on the Squawker Comparison Matrix, and there you can go through different players, put in the stats that you want to compare them with, and the league, whether you want it Champions League, wherever you want them to compare, you can do the comparison there. So definitely look at that. Gunnar K says he knows exactly what we need. What's it? Is that the Arsenal song? Is that what you're singing, Gunnar K? Because Arteta knows exactly what you need, and that is another second place finish. 4p of second. Who says no? Who says no? I don't know. I don't know. But you wish your manager had that Lego hair. Don't kill me. Don't kill me. But Joshua says, how much do you reckon each player will cost? So between the three, I think Jared Branthwaite is going to cost around 55 to 60 million pounds. I think that's been the rumored fee across the last 12 months in January, but also in summer, they've been saying around 55 to 60 million pounds. So I don't think it's gone much further up. Fiaco Tomori, I reckon, would be a much lower. You're looking at around 20 million pounds, I would say. Maximum 25 million pounds. But I would suggest that they're looking to get this deal done in around the 20 to 25 million pounds euros range. And then Mark Guehi, that's the one that's going to cost a lot of money. He's just reaching his prime, 24 years of age. Crystal Palace is an extremely strong asset for them. They've also turned down bids at around 60 million last summer for him. So you'd expect at that point that Guehi could go for 65 upwards of 70 million pounds, depending which team comes in for him. Now, as was highlighted by Caden, he's in the last year of his deal. So they may go for lower, maybe 50 to 55 million. I think it does entirely depend on who is in for him, who wants him, and some of these other things as to which is the fee that they actually get. But ultimately, they're all going to cost a fairly decent penny, apart from Tomori. Tomori's going to be a fairly cheap player, but the Guehi and Branthwaite are going to cost quite a lot of money. And just sorry, I know Mr. Udang wanted me to look at Nico Schlotterbeck. Not a player that we've necessarily been in for, but when looking at some of the numbers here for Nico Schlotterbeck, let me just share my screen again so you guys can see, because I've just added him to the comparison matrix. Let's just get that back up. As you can see here, he's got the higher passes attempted between the rule, but again, his passing accuracy is higher than Branthwaite and Guehi, so very good numbers. Forward passes is much higher than those of the three, but Borussia Dortmund do play a much more possession style of football. Aerial duel success percentage, again, much higher than the three at 65.4 and duels one at 5.6. Now, they're the only stats that he does excel in, but he is a very good defender. I can't say that I've watched Dortmund loads this season. I'm not going to lie to you guys and act like I haven't watched Dortmund loads this season. I'm not really been paying attention to Bundesliga like that. But Schlotterbeck, I do know, is a defender that we have been interested in and is a player that a lot of clubs want because he is a good centre-back. There's no doubt about that. Now, the one thing you do have to look at here is he did play 23 games and 23 starts. So he had an injury last season. He did have an injury last season. But that doesn't mean he's an injury-prone player. I would have to look into the numbers a bit closer to tell you guys what is going on with him on that side of things. But I don't want to just start obscuring your minds and start saying things right now. So we'll look at Nico Schlotterbeck on another day. We are on 44 likes. We're six away from 50. I'm sure there's about 5 or 6 people in here that haven't liked the video. So make sure you guys have smashed the like button. Yeah, come on, look. As the member said, a delinquent is letting you guys know we're just 5 likes away from 50. So smash the likes. Swear, Jords, you said you're a centre back. Phone Spurs real quick. Say less. Let me make a phone call. I'm gonna make a phone call. Yo, Daniel, you bold prick. Yeah, you need a centre back. I've got a centre back for you. Trust me. Hear me out. 6'1", 200 pounds of pure brick wall steel. He's not played at the Champions League level, but watch this. He's available for free. And on the wage side of things, he's not even asking for too much. He's not, mate, he's not asking for too much. Yeah, look, maybe 30k a week. I know he's not played Champions League, but 30k a week, it will do a job. And he's always available. He's always available. Trust me. Doesn't get injured. You know them ways that he doesn't get injured. So Daniel, make that move. Yeah. Centre back. Durag Diaries on the YouTube. Make that move, man. He's waiting for the call. Josh, I don't know why I didn't think of that. I didn't think of that, but I just made the call in it. I just let him know. So let's see. Let's see what happens. I let Daniel, the bold prick, know that Durag Diaries is available and he is willing to make the move to Spurs this summer. Who knows? Keep a lookout for that transfer. Let me just see who else is live so I can send you guys over to someone, show someone some love, let you guys know. Let's see who is live. Okay, we ain't even got too many people live. What I'll do is I'll send you guys over to another Spurs fan in man like Sava Football Heritage TV. So make sure you hit a DRD raid in his chat or a Durag Diaries raid, whichever way you want to put it. Make sure you let him know where you guys have come from. Joshua, we are going to talk about everything Matisse Tell video come out yesterday, but I'll release another one for you. Don't worry. I'm waiting for something more concrete to come out to actually discuss it fully. But we are going to discuss some more wingers and some other transfer options tomorrow. So look out tomorrow afternoon for another Tottenham transfer news show. And until then, big up to everyone inside. Big up to all the people then. Make sure you follow up on the socials. Make sure you're subscribed to help the boy get to 5K. And if you want to show some extra support, scan the QR code over here. Buy me a coffee. My shit empty, man. You know, one of them ones like, I need a drink. I need a drink. Well, big up people. Love always. And yeah, man, have a good day.